Wu Lotti was a YG's member known for his long-running beef with the OGs. He also rapped, having appeared on a track called Fool's Talk, releasing in February 2020. Less than 2 months after that video released, on the 7th of April 2020, Wu Lotti, real name Glenn Cole, was walking with other YGs in Sugar Hill, when around 1 in the morning they were caught by their enemies. Apparently, a car full of OGs pulled up, taking chase with broomsticks, trash cans and knives. In a terrible stroke of misfortune, Wu Lotti tripped to the ground, with the gang of rivals setting upon him furiously. Not only were they attacking him without remorse, but they were also filming the attack for Snapchat. In a clip that's far too violent to show you on YouTube, a whole mob of people surround Wu Lotti, beating him with weapons. He was left with stab wounds to his torso and thigh, later passing away in Harlem Hospital.
Investigation underway in Harlem after a man was stabbed to death. It happened just before 1 this morning on West 154th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue. Authorities say officers found the man with multiple stab wounds to his torso and legs. His identity yet to be released, and no arrests have been made.
2 people were initially arrested for the murder, a 28-year-old and a 16-year-old, with the older man being quickly identified by police after renting the zip car that the attackers escaped in his own name, with the cops later arresting 5 people in total for this crime. Wu Lotti would unfortunately lose his life just as the Bronx drill scene was beginning to rise. Only 5 days after Wu Lotti's passing, on the 13th of April, Be Love would put out one of his first releases, the song and video for No Hook. The track had gritty lyrics about shooters in the streets and homies losing their lives to the lifestyle. But this track wasn't the op-smoking, offensive anthems that we would later see emerge from the area. However, before the end of the month, the YGs would come out with a menacing new song of their own, with T-Dot, D-Thang, T-Mac, E-Day and Six dropping the track RPT Buggin' Part 2 on April the 30th, 2020. The track came with lyrics about spinning the op block in Highbridge, killing OG members and saying that they're OG killers or OGK, and dissing a deceased OG's affiliate named Smelly. Real name Esmerlin Torribo, Smelly was killed just age 17 in a dispute over a bike that he had recently sold. Smelly ended up getting stabbed 14 times in the chest during this altercation, tragically losing his life. That song RPT Buggin' showed the world for the first time the kind of timing that the YG's rappers in the Bronx were on. Unafraid to diss the dead and willing to bring up tragedies from years ago just to provoke and upset their rivals. But the thing is, while some YG's members were taking big steps in music, over on Sev's side, K-Flock had yet to release any music yet. At this point, K-Flock was still deep in the streets, spinning the op block on IG Live without a care in the world for who was watching. In fact, in a now iconic IG Live session, K-Flock would record himself in 800 YG's territory, seemingly hunting for Opps, showing the world that he was outside the Opps building and ready to shoot, or make a movie as he calls it.
Come outside, we in front of y'all building. Look, we in front of y'all building. He live in this building, y'all. I feel like a fucking warrior. I'm Dolo. What they gonna tell me? I'm like that. I'm like that. What am I mother? What? I wish one of y'all drink niggas over here. We just shot one of y'all niggas in y'all face. We never went live. What am I, mom? Making a movie on live. If I got a dog, what am I? That means. Well, I'm on a blog, Dolo. I'm on a blog. I'm on a blog. I'm on a blog.
And at a certain point, K-Flock seems to spot who he was looking for, but is then immediately spotted himself by the cops.
Wow, but the boy's right here. You can't do nothing. She right here, bro. You can't do nothing. The fog, watch yourself. So, yeah. I'm not doing nothing, bro. So. Alright. Rats, where the mom? Look, I'm about to run down. Where my dad? The boys right there, look.
Nobody's running!
Nobody's running! The boys right there! The boys right there, like, look. So come here, come around the block. Come around the block. Came from over there, boys down there, look, boys still down there. Boys still down there.
But despite the police presence, K-Flock remained on the block, ready for Opps and still streaming live despite the presence of the police.
Hold on, look. Yeah, look. I'm on 800 still.
K would even go on in this live to tell his homie that he literally spun the block for views and bragging about the sub 200 live viewers that he had on his live while this was going on.
We gang out here. We just made 800 like 17 times. Oh, look how many views I got. Look, you gonna see for yourself.
Oh, this shit flogging.
Can't flock to myself.
Man, OG's up.
What am I, mother?
To me, this shows just how crazy K-Flock was in the streets before his rap career had even begun. He was a truly lost kid, with zero fear, something to prove, with complete disregard for the safety of his ops, his friends, or even himself. So, while the clashes in the streets were heating up, so too were the clashes in the music, as rappers from the OG side of the beef would also begin releasing provocative music with the sole aim of provoking their ops. On May the 1st, 2020, Shah EK, PJ Glizzy, and B-Dot released their breakout song, Shoot or Get Shot, with the main hook of the song basically saying if you represent the YGs, you will get shot, and with lyrics dissing YGs throughout the whole track. And so, what with the buzz about Bronx drill beginning to rise, at a certain point, K-Flock decides to take a break from spinning his Opps block on IG Live, getting in the recording booth and making a little song of his own. And at the end of May 2020, K-Flock would drop his first solo track, FTO, a 22G's remix that would begin to blow him up in the rap game too. Now, the template had been set. K-Flock had a genuine opportunity to build himself a legitimate career as a rapper. But as we see as this story progresses, he would remain heavily invested in the streets, perhaps not even realizing just how big of an opportunity he was creating for himself by picking up a microphone. And unfortunately, as the months would go on, both sides would see bloodshed as a result of the deadly gang lifestyle that they were tied up in, ultimately leading to a whole lot of heartbreak, loss, and disrespectful music being made.